Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect episode 71. Today's date is November 15th, 2020, and I am Duds, or Duds versus known to the rest of the interwebs.
I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. And this week, we're going to start off with what you've done.
Not that we have a guest. I don't know why that hasn't been fixed yet.
Yeah, I'm going to change that right now while you tell us what you're doing.
All right, so this week I wrapped up the dome. The dome is completely liquefied.
Nice.
And underwater. It's on ice and lit up. I think I've only ever seen one zombie spawn in there. And he spawned in a spot where he was so high up he was too scared to jump down because he would have died. So I'm considering the dome safe for building.
Oh.
This also means I had to start working on the interior design part, which really stinks. So basically, from the bottom up to the what I'm calling the terrace level, I've got designed in my head, ready to go. I've got the dimensions laid out. I've got my little pillars that show the midpoints, so I know how to do my curves and arcs and everything. The upper portion, the part that actually connects to the dome, no clue how I want to do it. And that's what's messing me up, because to get my bottom part, I need to know how far away from the top of the dome I need to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, if my upper section of the terrace needs 5 blocks, I need to make sure I gave myself 5 blocks to build. But I also need to make sure I give myself enough blocks down to build. So yeah, I'm in that weird spot. All the little rooms I have that are going off the terrace, like my carrot and potato farming room, I have that figured out in my head, ready to go. It's like, I can't wait to build this room, but I need to get this design first so I know how it connects and I know how much room I have for the next room. People are like, well, just go ahead and build the carrot and potato farm room. Don't worry about the terrace. It's like, yeah, but I'm one of those guys who, my base sits on top of each other. Like, there are times many rooms are only separated by a single block, and I need to be able to measure that in my head and figure out whether or not I'm going to run out of space. I don't think with the dome I'm going to run out of space. I think I'll run out of activities before I run out of space, but I'd rather not take the risk.
Yeah, it's a good size.
Yeah. It's not a big base. It's just the fact that it's underground. Everything's just open for me.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Other than that, I worked on a new logo design.
Ah.
So I've had the Duds versus Word logo for a while. When I updated my skin and everything, I kind of put that as an icon for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back to having the actual logo, which requires me working in Inkscape a lot, which is like just new and blows my mind every time I try to do something. So basically, I'm following tutorials on how to do basic general shapes. Like, I think the shape I kind of want to go with is kind of a shield looking shape. I tried to do a taco shape, and that was a little hard to come across.
That would have been good to pull that off.
It would have been great, but it didn't really work out too much. So yeah, I'm still trying to learn Inkscape. It's a great program, awesome program, and it's free. So, and there are very good tutorials out there. I'm just bad at new programs. It took me forever to learn GIMP, but I've learned GIMP, and I'm a little dangerous in that. So now it's just, I need to spend some time working in Inkscape. Yeah, that's kind of it for my week. I'm hoping to get a logo redesign out by at least next week, but I doubt I will. How about you? What have you been working on?
I finished up my second tower for where the iron farm's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the pillager outpost was. Kind of got it all centered to where I'll get the spawns of the pillagers inside the tower, which is what I plan on doing. We need the pillagers to kill the iron golem, so everything is good there. I have to spawn proof the tower on the outside because it gradually comes in and there's a lip on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting pillagers all around there. At least this gives me an idea of where their spawning range is, so I can make the platform a little better on the inside. Maybe make 2 platforms.
Well, you got to also be careful, because depending on your iron farm design, your iron golems will spawn on the outside too.
Yeah, that also. So I'm thinking about just carpeting.
Well, carpet doesn't always stop the iron golems.
Oh boy.
I think stairs and slab do. So if you're able to do a stair and slab.
Maybe it's white concrete.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to try carpets and see what the golems do.
Mm-hmm.
The golems should be high enough where they're spawning, and then they're all going to fall into a platform with water streaming into one area. And then around that is going to be pillagers everywhere, just spawning and attacking the golem.
Gotcha.
That's the idea.
If you find a certain spot where you see golems always spawning, you can throw a bunch of leaves up and make it look like it's got like vines growing off the tower, because 100% golems won't spawn on top of leaves.
Ah, yeah.
If the carpet doesn't work in a certain spot, you got a way to get around that. Because your towers are so big, throwing up a chunk of leaves might actually add a good bit of detail and look nice.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing like an overgrown look, but the more my tower grows, the more clean it's getting. So that's the only reason I wasn't considering it. But yeah, that's good to at least keep in mind.
You detailing those towers are going to be insane.
Yeah. I was thinking about it yesterday, and I know how I want to do it. It's not going to be, I'll explain it now. It's not going to be so much different block variants.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the full polished block variant. That's the block I'm going to detail inside. So you have your blackstone, andesite, and diorite.
Mm-hmm.
All those you can make a polished full block out of. And it's going to kind of look like the tower had blocks towards the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of going to smooth out, except the blocks are going to be in patches.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something that's too hard to, grasp with my explanation.
I'm getting in my head, but I've seen your tower.
Yeah, I want to do a patch of it and make sure it looks okay before I, do the whole thing. But that's the idea, at least what I came up with. That means I'm about ready to start recording again. It's been like 2 weeks. I haven't recorded anything. I did that little, went back into the season, did like the funny moments type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time this week, I've just been finishing up the tower, just getting the tower in so I can go ahead and start the iron farm. It should be a lot of fun. And then, like you said, you have to do one thing before moving on to another part of the base.
Yeah.
I still have a freaking ship to build. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure everything was at the right height before I figured out where to put my ship. So I'm pretty sure I'm okay. I'm in the clear to build it, but I do want to get this iron farm out of the way. I am going to need a bunch of iron to help with the ship also.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I've helped a friend with an intro. He has a website where he has a Facebook channel where he not auctions, but kind of raffles off football helmets.
Yeah.
He was trying to edit his own thing. I was like, I can help you out with that. And I ended up doing a lot better than I thought. I was messing with editing a lot more than I would originally. I usually just do my basic transitions. He mentioned something to me, and I ended up making it work on the edit of the video, and I was really happy about that. He was really happy how the whole intro came out. It was like pretty much a whole song, the intro, because he streams.
Mm-hmm.
So he does the intro for starting soon. This is the intro, and then he starts. It's not a short intro. So yeah, it took a lot of time, and he is going to send me a autographed, authentic Raiders helmet for that.
Nice.
Yeah, it took me a few days to do that, and I will take any signed Raiders helmet for that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's about it for my week.
Awesome. So should we go ahead and move on to the news?
Yeah, we should.
All right, news. There was a small snapshot. We're just going to throw out some of the features and some texture changes, and we'll obviously cover that more when we get to the main topic. But snapshot 20W46A brought us powdered snow or snowier snow and the freezing effect. Not a big fan of that one so far. But what do you have, Jimbo?
I got texture changes. We have texture changes for cut copper, lightning rod, calcite, amethyst block, budding amethyst block, tinted glass, candles with candle item icons, copper ingot with icon, amethyst shard item icon, and bundle item icon.
Mm-hmm. Also, I missed putting it in there, but the bundle GUI changed.
Oh, yeah.
So now it physically shows you what's in the bundle instead of using that graphic representation that was shown in Minecon Live.
Yeah, still not a fan of bundles, but that does help.
Yeah. I saw Pixel Riff did a stream because everyone's obviously griping on bundles, showing that it could be done early in game and stuff, and that they were useful. And I after watching, I still am on the, you know what, for an average player who doesn't play far beyond the end game, you know what, bundles probably are a great thing for them. They really are. But for someone who play, like, the end game starts at, or really the game starts after you beat the dragon, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I get you're not supposed to compare it to a shulker box, but they're two storage items that do kind of close to the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm to the point now where my only real complaint about bundles, my only really hard gripe would be the fact that when you empty a bundle, it dumps everything into your inventory, that you can't singly pick out an item, or that you can't just dump it straight into a chest. You have to dump it in your inventory and then move it from your inventory into a chest.
Right.
If you could dump it into a chest or pick things out singly, I wouldn't be as grumpy about it. I still don't think it's super useful for players like me and you, who are definitely in the end game and shulkers are all the rage.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see for the casual player who doesn't play much past in game, where bundles would be really nice.
Yeah, as soon as I get to the shulkers, I'm pitching the bundles.
Yeah, lava bucket, there you go.
They could be cool if you want to give a gift to someone and not give them a shulker box.
Yeah.
Put a gift inside the bundle. There's a few instances where I could see myself using it, but yeah, it's not going to be like a priority. Like when I start, I got to get bundles to help manage everything. I usually stay to myself and, just keep my chest nearby when I'm mining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually figure it out that way. I don't think bundles are going to be a high priority.
No, it'll be one of those things where if I have a rabbit bouncing around me, I might smack it with a sword now instead of letting it bounce around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to me that kind of hurts the game a little more. But I did learn that I didn't know that rabbits will come at you if you're carrying a dandelion.
Oh.
I thought it was only carrots or golden carrots or anything like that. But no, if you hold a dandelion, they'll come towards you too. And that was my biggest worry. It's like, well, carrots aren't always super easy to get either. I remember one map I didn't find a carrot till I was in a mine shaft and it was in a chest. Anyways, moving on. We got a listener comment from FireStar, and this one's kind of long. So I'm going to try my best to read it without stumbling. We all know how me and Jimbo are when we have to read these long things.
Right.
They say, I wish there was a way to start a thunderstorm for, say, a charge creeper farm or any other various lightning-based activities. I know Vanilla Tweaks has a data pack where you can use a nether star, but I never really liked that because even with the auto wither skeleton farms, it feels too expensive. I would want it to be done through something that feels un-Minecrafty, like a workstation that you right-click on or something, but maybe triggering it by something like the idea where sitting in a chair would change it to night. What are your guys' thoughts?
The idea of a workstation you click on to start a thunderstorm is definitely too unvanilla for me. I feel like that's just too easy.
Yeah, and too overpowered.
Yeah, doesn't make too much sense. I'm trying to think of a way to start a thunderstorm. If anything, like I would make thunderstorms maybe biome based. Like if you were to start a thunderstorm, make it more likely inside of a certain biome, maybe a jungle. We don't have like a rainforest biome, do we? Need a rainforest biome.
I think that's what the jungle was supposed to be.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe not you actively starting a thunderstorm because, there's no way to do that as of right now.
Yeah.
But maybe a biome specific that has more likely a chance to have a thunderstorm. But then again, like when a thunderstorm starts, it's noticeable across all biomes. So that's something hard to balance there if you were to start them.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is, one, I want to start with, I don't like the idea of changing it to night.
Yeah.
Because I think sitting something people would like to do as an emote a lot. We see, especially as YouTubers, when we gather around, we're all standing on stair blocks that look like chairs, hunched over. And I think those would be good to have a sitting emote and stuff. So if we were to try sitting emotes and it would just convert it to nighttime, that wouldn't really work out too well because nighttime recording of Minecraft is really rough on compression and stuff. But when it comes to creating a lightning strike, I honestly feel that the Nether Star trick was too cheap. And maybe that's just because we have a Wither skeleton form. And I see how easy they are to cheese the Wither using the bedrock in the end and everything like that.
How does it exactly work with the Nether Star?
You gotta like build a special location and drop a Nether Star in there, and it basically just turns thunderstorm Wither on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
You can look at season 6 of Hermitcraft. They were doing it because a couple of the mini games kind of required rain and stuff.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that, but I didn't see it in action.
But I think I would like, this is something I wish Minecraft has had for years, and it's overpowered weapons is what I'm going to call them, or armor pieces, where it's epic loot. Say you're in the deep dark now, dodging wardens and stuff. You open a chest, and inside that chest is a netherite sword with sharpness 10 on it. Not sharpness 5, which is the max, but it has sharpness 10.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to me, that's really cool. And losing that sword would actually hurt you when you died and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That would actually hurt.
Yeah, I've always wanted randomized loot like that. And maybe there could be a trident that doesn't need rain and such to call lightning upon it. Maybe every time you throw the trident, lightning would strike.
Yeah.
And that could be just a randomized loot around the world that you have to go find. Because calling lightning already is kind of OP. I remember when they put that on the trident, and I went, no, why would they do that?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to balance something like that.
It really is.
You know, to just summon thunderstorms. I guess the vanilla tweak Nether Star idea, that's might be as close as you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, if you're playing on a single-player world or something like that, honestly, I would just spawn a command block, put the command in there to change the weather, and put a button on it. Because it's a single-player world. It doesn't matter. As long as you're okay with it, then you're okay with it. Like, in my single-player world, I have a teleportation hub, which literally teleports me to different parts of the map so I don't have to crawl through the nether all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that was cheaty. I was like, it's a single-player world, and I don't have the time to build nether hubs and dig tunnels and stuff, so this is how I did it.
Yeah, it's all about creativity, imagination, the story you're telling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in your world you have a thunderstorm starter. You know, maybe in your world you have this, you build some big thing around this button that, you know, maybe it does a rain dance and starts raining. So you can always play with that and put it in your storyline and just make it a part of your world. It doesn't have to be cheaty in that case, especially single player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the joyousness of single player. A lot of people get on these hypes where, like, you're playing it wrong. It's like, it's Minecraft. You can't play it wrong. No, it's like someone might play it differently than you, but that's their choice. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be able to call lightning using a workstation or a command block in single player, I'm 100% for it. Do it. I'm with Jimbo. Make it into a story. Maybe you make like a statue with a button as its belly button, and you got to tickle the belly button, and he calls thunder and lightning because he's upset you tickled the statue.
Yeah, some kind of story.
Just fun stuff like that.
Right.
But in standard vanilla, just a regular workstation, it feels a little too easy and a little too overpowered. And with the sitting thing, I think sitting to turn it to night, you'd get a lot of players on that server constantly complaining about somebody trying to turn it to night by sitting down.
Yeah, it's one of those commands we'd have to put into where, you know, it's one person sleep. It'd be every person sit, you know.
Well, and that's why I like the idea of sitting as a way to regen health super slowly.
Yeah.
Because it only affects the player that's sitting. And if you're sitting, obviously you're not in the middle of combat, so it wouldn't affect combat either. Because if I see someone sitting in the middle of combat, I'm going to whacking them with the sword really hard.
Yeah. And let's remind everyone, you can't sit yet. Sitting is not a thing.
Not a thing. We wish it was a thing. It'd be very cool. But I'm going to say it's going to be a thing here within the next year, though. That's my prediction.
With the emotes?
Yeah, I think emotes are going to be coming to Java at some point.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, there were some people who were really against it, but I think emotes are really cool. And the best part is, if you don't like them, you don't have to use them.
Yeah.
It's the best part about Minecraft in general. Everyone plays differently, and everyone can play it how they want to play it. generally without affecting other people and how they play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always going to be someone to go against a new feature. Emotes came from other games, so of course people might feel like it's not Minecraft, but I'm sure Mojang, especially with all the great work they've done, they could make it feel Minecrafty.
Yeah, I mean, everything new they put into Minecraft, you always hear those people going, that's not Minecraft enough. And then within a year, you're like, well, yeah, this is Minecraft. Like, if we saw the Nether how it is now 4 years ago, we would have said that's modded.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I mean, that's just the Nether, and it's awesome. I love it. So, yes, I very much trust Mojang with their game. They know what they're doing. It's their game.
Right. If they want to give us thunderstorms, I'm sure they'll figure out a great way.
Maybe you got to do a rain dance emote.
Yeah, maybe.
That would drive people crazy.
Give people power like that. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's get on to this week's Discord ad. This week's Discord ad is from servermate Brownie Bits. Brownie, take it away, man.
Hello, everyone! Your favorite sweet treat, Brownie Bits here, and I am a member of the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to get to know the people from the show and share cookies with your favorite like-minded Minecrafters. It's the only place to throw cakes at... I mean, submit your questions for upcoming guests and share your opinions about the game. Add brownies! Excuse me. Sugar Rush the Discord today using the link in the show notes, and I will see you there.
All right, Brownie, thank you so much for the ad. And if you guys want to record an ad, you know the routine by now. Get in touch with Carl, me, or Jimbo on the Discord, and we'll hook you up with a script and everything. I want to say Carl mentioned that a lot of people have actually signed up to do the ad. We were just waiting. I think we're waiting to run out of blocks for Block of the Week because we're going to be doing different of the weeks, and we want to get the scripts for those instead.
Yeah.
Speaking of Block of the Week, again, the only place you can vote for it's on the Discord. We ask you guys to discuss and choose between the scaffolding block, the target block, and a smoker.
And the winner this week is... scaffolding.
Like there was any other choice.
Yes, this is one of Dud's favorite blocks. Scaffolding had 37 votes. It's a lot. 8 for the target block and 11 for the smoker.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much a landslide. Few things on the scaffolding block. It's crafted with 6 bamboo and 1 string. You do get 6 scaffolding out of that one combination. So you do get your money's worth, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
It's used when building structures that help the player reach higher places and to descend safely without taking any fall damage. Breaks instantly, no tools needed. When the bottom block of scaffolding is destroyed, all the scaffolding blocks above it break. Depending on your direction and location determines how the scaffolding is placed and can be used as fuel in furnaces, smelting 2 items per block in Java Edition and 6 items per block in Bedrock Edition.
Oh, man.
That was a fun fact. Yeah, they're making out over there.
Yeah.
Bedrock.
Okay, so if anyone's been watching live streams and videos from me, everyone understands that scaffolding is the original Grumpy Duds item.
Yeah.
It has now turned it to bundles.
Right.
But I've always disliked scaffolding, and it's not the thought of scaffolding. I think scaffolding could be one of the most useful blocks in the game. It could be an absolutely game changer of a block, but instead it's kind of it's a useful block, not a game changing block. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, I'm going to start with the one thing I could not figure out how to fix, and that's the shifting through scaffolding.
Yeah.
Because whenever we walk on edge as Java players, we shift close to the edge. I'm pretty sure it's the same for Bedrock. I know they have a different way of being able to place blocks in front of them.
Yeah. Lucky.
Yeah, they can do some bridging rather easily. When Java comes around, we have to do the turnaround shift and place on edge. We don't do that with scaffolding. You kind of do it the Bedrock way, where you place it in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes I will shift through the scaffolding and it gets all kinds of messed up and stuff like that. The main problem I always had with scaffolding was getting used to the way they placed and stuff like that. Now that I'm used to that, I'm okay with it being a helpful block, but to make it a game-changing block, couple things. One, let me place scaffolding on the sides of other blocks.
Yeah.
I get scaffolding in real life doesn't work like this, but this is Minecraft. Minecraft doesn't have gravity for the most part. And my way to get around that is let me craft anchor scaffolding.
Mm.
An anchor scaffolding can just be 9 scaffolding blocks in a crafting table, creates an anchor scaffolding block. That anchor scaffolding block can be attached to the sides of blocks, or the other big problem with scaffolding when you're moving out horizontally, which I think is only a distance of like 7 blocks, I can throw a anchor block in there, and now I can go even further sideways. So you put out to the 7, you see that one scaffolding drop, you walk to the end, you place your anchor scaffolding block, and then you can now click on that and extend the horizontal distance further. And then once you break all the scaffolding blocks, the anchor scaffolding block falls just like a normal scaffolding block.
Yeah, I could see that.
The other thing is you should be able to place scaffolding on half slabs.
Right.
I get but duds, all the other gravity blocks break on half slabs. And that's where I go, no. You can place sand on a bottom half slab and it not break.
Mm-hmm.
Falling sand will break on a half slab. But if you have a bottom half slab, you can click on it with sand and that sand's going to sit there.
Yep, unlike scaffolding.
So I think you should be able to do that, even if you have to use an anchor scaffolding block to do it. But that's my fix for scaffolding. Other than that, scaffolding is a helpful tool. I'm not so grumpy about it anymore, but it could be an absolute game-changing block. And I hope they kind of do with scaffolding what they did with the elytras. Remember, when elytras came out, they were just okay. You could glide around and everything, but you had to be in a falling state to really use an elytra.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 111 comes out, and you've got the firework rocket. So now the elytra became a game-changing piece of armor. And I think an anchor block for scaffolding could do that for scaffolding and turn it into a game-changing block. Other than that, it's just a useful block.
Yeah, I had trouble playing with scaffolding when I first did it. I noticed, I'd build my scaffolding up, and I'd go at the top, and I'd, try to go outwards, and about seven or so blocks you can go out. And then I had trouble figuring out how to go back up. I'm like, okay, I can only place it on top of this block. I have no way to get around, to build back up. But then I realized if you shift, you have to shift on the edge to get the side of the block, because you have to actually place your scaffolding on the side of a scaffolding block for it to go up, instead of on top of there, because that would just make it go outward. So yeah, the direction you have to place can be annoying. Getting on the sides, the shifting thing, like you said, that could be annoying. I have almost a whole shulker box full of scaffolding blocks that I haven't even used. It sounds like I'm going to throw them in my smelter, to be honest. My towers are so high that, I can fly up so high and just take blocks and scaffold out a little bit. I don't really need the scaffolding block to take care of what I need to take care of. It might come in handy for when I detail the tower, though.
Yeah.
I used a good bit when I was detailing trees on my island last season. They seem to work out perfect for that because I'm, gradually going up. And but once I got so far, I just took a pearl and I just pearled from branch to branch. So, yeah, I think scaffolding could use some more improvements. It's a great way to get into secret locations, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't see it. You see the top of the scaffolding, and then you can kind of tunnel down through scaffolding to get the secret areas. There's other ways to use it, what I'm trying to say, instead of using it for scaffolding. Makes a good table.
It does. And chairs.
Yeah.
So, enough of Block of the Week. Let's get into the main topic. What we're going to do is I'll start with one, you start with another, and we'll kind of bounce back and forth. Powdered Snow. Powdered Snow is a trap block that causes any entity that walks into it to sink into it. You can pick it up and place Powdered Snow with a bucket, wearing leather boots, will prevent yourself from sinking into these snow powder blocks. If you leave a cauldron outside during a snowfall, it will fill with powdered snow. And that's kind of it for powdered snow for right now. I mean, sure, powdered snow seems kind of cool. I don't see the usefulness now. I'm hoping that kind of gets elaborated on later. I like that it can get into cauldrons. I've seen a lot of people using powdered snow in the nether as a way to get it around not having water. So if you're caught on fire in the nether, you can drop it and stand in it.
Mm.
So that's kind of cool. That might, well, no, the water bucket's good for Enderman, and that's always my biggest problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely different. You know, there's definitely an element of surprise when walking around the snowy area. Kind of breaks things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to play with it, really. What I see makes sense. It is kind of neat. You have to use a bucket to place it. It's not in a block because it's a powder. So, of course, it would only make sense to be in a bucket. It does make things makes it hard to get abundance of them. You know, buckets don't stack, right? The powdered snow buckets.
Yeah, I don't think they snack. I think it's just like a water bucket and lava bucket. A bucket on its own will stack, but once you fill it with something, it doesn't.
Right. The cauldron thing, that's pretty cool. I don't know if there's a way you can automatically take the powdered snow out of the cauldron into like a chest, into a bucket. I don't know if there's any way to do that. As far as I know, you can't put a hopper under it. So you would still have to go manually, with buckets and pick up the powdered snow to collect from the cauldrons.
Well, my first thought would be to have a dispenser looking at the cauldron with an empty bucket, and then obviously having the dispenser go off, scoop up the powdered snow into the bucket, would obviously suck the snowy bucket back into the dispenser, and then I would have a hopper unlock underneath the dispenser to pull the powder bucket out, and then when that happens, I'd shove an empty bucket back into the dispenser.
Yeah.
Do that all again. But I don't know if a dispenser can interact with a cauldron, so...
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Hopefully the bucket can interact with the cauldron. I don't see why they wouldn't give us that. They can give us that. But then I don't see how much falling snow people would need. How much do you really need of it?
Yeah.
Never know. I know the Minecraft community is pretty nifty at using all these new blocks and finding different ways for them to be relevant.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I can't really think of anything.
My only other gripe, and it's not even really a gripe, is the wearing the leather boots to prevent yourself from sinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with the fact that Mojang's now making us change armor for the most part. It's the fact that I now have to carry so many different armor types around if I really want to do some crazy exploring. If you go into the nether, you got to wear gold. If you go into the snow biome, you kind of wear leather. I'd like inventory to be tweaked a little bit to kind of make up for that. I'm actually okay. The more I think about it, the more I'm okay changing out armor because, let's face it, once you got diamond armor before, everything else was useless.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've got netherite armor, everything else is useless. Well, now gold armor has a use again. If you don't want to be bothered in the nether, you wear gold armor.
Yeah, instantly, or when you get leather armor, you instantly trash it.
Yeah.
It's instantly thrown out.
Yeah.
And now you can actually hold a pair of boots on you. I'm pretty sure you fall from the powdered snow if you don't have the boots on. Like if you have the leather vest or the leather pants and hat, you're still going to sneak it or
sink.
What sink? I'm saying sneak. Yeah, you'll still sink. You need leather boots especially, but I think the full leather armor is what we're actually going to get into. That it helps prevent the freezing.
Well, let's go ahead and hop over to that side. Let's go over freezing.
Yes, freezing. Standing in powder snow will slowly freeze an entity. Once frozen, freeze damage is done every few seconds to the frozen entity. Each piece of leather armor worn causes an entity to freeze more slowly. Wearing a full set of leather armor prevents freezing entirely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah. And again, I'm okay changing armor and stuff. But here's my thing. if you're already wearing leather boots, you can't fall into powdered snow.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you can't freeze because you have to be standing in powdered snow, not on powdered snow.
Right.
So I guess unless you smack your face up against it,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the only way you can freeze wearing leather boots.
Well, I know you can walk into the side of it.
Yeah.
Kind of just walk into it. You won't fall through it if you have leather. Once you walk inside of the block, you can hit spacebar or your jump button, and you'll automatically climb out. It's good to know. You could transport yourself with these blocks as well if you have leather on. But I noticed in a couple examples, wearing full leather armor doesn't prevent you from freezing entirely. I know that's the change they're going for, but it didn't work. I noticed in a couple videos they were taking damage.
Yeah. I'm not sure I like the climbing out of the powdered snow effect. I understand it, and it could be a really cool mechanic that I'm just not thinking of right now. But the fact that Mojang's called it a trap block, like that's in its description, is that it's a trap block. I don't like how you can get out of the trap.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it may have some kind of feature or characteristic I'm not seeing right now that could be really nice. So again, this is early snapshots. Things change. I haven't seen a farm take advantage of the freezing effect. My first thought was mobs and stuff, but I mean, after you spend a day at a mob grinder, most mobs are spawning with leather armor on anyways.
Oh, yeah.
For a creeper farm, it might be really nice because creepers don't ever spawn with any leather on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do want to mention that once you're in the powder snow without the leather boots, you cannot get out. You can try to jump. You kind of got to dig your way out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. That's better.
And then you'll start to freeze. Most likely you could dig out the block right next to you and just walk out of the powdered snow. But yeah, that is something to keep it note. You're not going to be able to jump. Can't jump out without your leather boots.
Okay. I like that way better. Still not a fan of having to carry another set of armor without an inventory tweak.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really want an inventory tweak. I think it's about an update or two overdue. I'm liking what they're doing with the cave update, but I felt the inventory update could have been put in front of it and would have a better effect. Especially because you look at this cave update, we're getting a lot of new blocks again.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're having to carry more armor too. I need a double chest interchest. That's what I need.
Yeah.
That would help a lot of this. I guess maybe if you're in the nether and stuff, like, so you enter the nether and there's an armor equipping station. So you take your normal armor off, throw it in a chest. That shoves your nether armor on you, pops out a shulker box. So you walk to your destination. If your destination's a snow area, take your nether armor off, throw it in station, and it pops leather armor on you, and you can go on. Or if you're going into a normal, regular area, you throw your shulker box of regular armor on, or into a machine, and it spits that out onto you. I don't know.
Yeah, you have armor everywhere.
Right. I'm talking, you'd have armor stands in every tunnel for every situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that could be a cool way around it, not having to carry the armor with you, and it would give you some kind of grind to do to get multiple sets of armor that can be used in different situations. I'm wearing gold boots 24/7, and it's really nice in the nether, but I die so quickly because I wear an elytra and gold boots, and they don't offer any kind of good protection, even with, I think I have protection for whatever it is on the boots. I mean, I'm still 2 hits to an enderman and I'm dead.
It'd be nice if we can get, I don't know if it'd be an enchantment, but some kind of attachment, like those snowshoes, how it looks like they got tennis rackets on the bottom of their feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe something like that instead of using actual leather. I know leather's a little lighter than all the other armor that we have, and that would make more sense than the other armor to use it to walk on the snow. But I know they have those shoes that look like tennis rackets that go in the bottom of your feet, and it'd be cool to maybe instead of having leather boots, maybe have an attachment for boots you could throw on real quick to help get around the snow. It might be the same difference, same case.
Yeah. The easy way around it is to throw an enchantment on there like soul speed and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I like your idea better of now having an enchant or an equipment that you hook onto the boots. So, one, that would require redoing how or armory works in Minecraft,
Yeah.
which is really complicated. But imagine, so instead of like Depth Strider, you have fins that you have to attach to the bottom of your boots.
Yeah.
So now you swim faster.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
I know it would stink because it's a lot of work and I don't think it would ever happen. But to do little things like that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. I think it would make your armor a lot more unique in that case. It wouldn't be the same shiny glimmer. It would actually have a look to it.
Yeah.
Maybe so many enchantments per boots. I don't know. We're kind of going down another path here, but I like that thought.
Mm-hmm. Let's hop into changes. Let's just do one change at a time. Some of them aren't really worth doing a long talk about, but we'll mention them. First change is the range of a lightning rod is been doubled. So I think it was like, what was it, like 16 blocks before? I think it's like 32 now. They didn't list it.
I think it was 16.
Yeah, they didn't list it in the thing. But that means you won't have to have as many lightning rods protecting your builds as you did before, which is really nice. Jimbo, what's your next change?
Buttons can change value, like difficulty can now be controlled with the mouse wheel. What?
Yeah, okay. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that's just like a setting button, not like a button on the keyboard or mouse or anything like that.
Yeah, I thought it was some kind of functionality in the game.
Yeah, I was like, can you like alt-tab that or something?
Yeah, I was like, buttons got a new feature. That's what I was thinking initially, but no, I don't think that's the case.
I'm just taking it as they're now adding the scroll effect to a drop-down menu or something.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Anyways, copper blocks are now crafted from 4 copper ingots. I like this change.
Oh, what a great change.
9 copper ingots was really expensive, but 4, very good. I like that. Especially because...
Yeah, especially...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We might be saying the same thing. How you get stairs and slabs. They can be crafted down.
Well, and if you think about it, copper is a very moldable metal, and you can get more out of copper than you could like an iron ingot, just because you can move the copper a lot easier. So
yeah,
it works. I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty solid change.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned on our half stack that the copper ingot is the only ingot that we can make stairs and slabs out of.
Yeah.
Notice that on that episode.
I think they're going to need to change the stone cutter name to just the cutter.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we need that for wood, and we're obviously going to need something for copper.
Yeah, cutter makes it more universal.
Mm-hmm.
Next change is clicking on button that changes value while holding shift key changes the previous value.
I gave you all the hard ones, I see.
Yeah, I guess that correlates with the first one.
It's just a go back button, I guess. Keyboard shortcut.
I mean, everyone likes shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with last cool change. Sky color now varies smoothly when moving between different biomes. I like this.
Yeah.
I liked how they put it into the Nether, so I'm hoping it looks just as good in the real world as it does in the Nether.
Right. Yeah, we were kind of hoping for this kind of change in the overworld.
Mm-hmm.
Even before we heard it was a caves and cliffs, I was hoping we'd get some different kind of atmosphere inside the overworld, and that'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got to see all the different, sky colors in all the different biomes. There's so many different biomes. We don't know if they'll change them all. But, yeah, really interested to see how those look.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I haven't really got to play with it. I haven't got to play with it yet.
I'm really hoping this could be a sign for my Northern Lights theory.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I don't want to take anything for granted. I like the sky color varying, especially if you're in a snowy biome and it gets a little bit darker, a little bit grayer. I'm good with that. If you're on a beach or the water, it's going to be super bright, stuff like that.
Yeah. You kind of see that a little bit when, let's say you go into the mesa or the desert and it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
You do get a little atmosphere change in that sense, but that's a weather change. This is just going to be simply biome.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to look forward to. Should we do my last boring change?
Let's do your last boring change.
Debug world type can now be accessed while holding Alt key. It used to be Shift. Okay.
You're right. That was a very boring change.
Yes, I told you.
I'm sure for somebody that's a super exciting change.
They're like, oh my God.
Finally, my finger didn't reach all the way over there before.
It's now this button. Now it's this button. Yes.
I'm not making fun of those people, but me and Jimbo are definitely not those kinds of people. We're like, ooh, pretty sky colors. Shift key, Alt key. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know what those keys do, guys.
Yeah, it's basically just making one key into another. That's all. If you need to know, now you know.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's show. Before Jimbo reads us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are Aubni, ChiefBigBear, Crock, ohbeep, StoneFigure, TheOfficialCCL, viperoustuna, and YDYT. If you too would like to get access to the exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/thewithering effect.
And if you like the show, you can share with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us, or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord, where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links will be in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be, and the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been awesome as always. Thanks so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.